Well, hey, Puppers. Welcome to a new Pupcorn Movies first impressions kind of special video that we're doing here.
It's a weird one. So.
And we have the pets here with us.
Yes, so if you hear any purring or unusual noises, it's our babies.
A dog's tum. A dog's
That's a new
stomach.
One. Yeah. Wesker's a little gurgly. I am also a little gurgly. So.
But no, we recently watched Matilda the Musical on Netflix.
So,
and
just to preface, you actually finished it.
Yes, I went back and finished it.
I did
out
not.
of curiosity. You were unable to finish it.
So I, when we took a break from it, I actually had to go to work, and I was like, whatever. I didn't really care too much. I wasn't a fan.
I wanted to broaden my taste and like try new things. This wasn't one of them.
And now to preface this, we do understand that this is targeted for UK.
Yeah, this is very much for a British audience.
Yeah, this is definitely, the UK love this musical. It has amazing reviews, and I can definitely see why. You know, I can. It has some very stylistic choices that I feel like American audiences, which is where we are, just don't really care for too terribly much.
Well, something to preface is that, like, we don't like kids.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the worst pieces of media
to watch
for
if you don't
people
like
that
kids.
do not like kids.
It is very kid heavy.
Yes.
For sure.
Previously, you did another video on the book and the Danny DeVito movie of 1996, I believe.
Yes. So, I did read Roald Dahl's book, Matilda, and then rewatched Danny DeVito's direction of Matilda. Now, I do hear a lot of people hate comparing the first Matilda movie to this one.
Yes.
And again, I can completely understand why. This one is much closer to the book.
Okay.
In a lot of ways than the Danny DeVito version is. That one was definitely Americanized. It was American actors. It was set in America. It had more of the style of school. So, like, there was no prefect. There's no, like, hall monitor. I'm the hall monitor. It was very much relatable for American audiences.
Gotcha.
Whereas this one, they have prefects. There's, like, the way that the school is set up is more European. So I can definitely see, like, this is for sure closer to the book.
Okay. See, whereas for me, the Danny DeVito movie, I was always like, it's fine, it's cute. It's kind of in that category of, like, Ernest Scared Stupid and, like, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'm like, I like them more because I know you like them a lot.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just like, Nate. Whereas
I
for
feel
this,
it's nostalgic.
I like the premise of Matilda, whether it's like from what you've told me that's in the book, because I edited the videos.
Yeah.
I found out how the book goes. The Matilda movie and this, like, I like the premise. I could not get into the music part of this musical.
It felt, everything sounded the same. It all sounded the same to me.
There was no earworm. Nothing really like.
I hate the sound of children singing. It doesn't matter
me
how
too.
well they sing. I just like, it makes me feel like there's worms inside my eyeballs. Like, I just hate it.
Yeah.
I just don't like that every single thing has a song to it. Like, there's so many scenes in this movie that could exist without a song, but they put a song in there anyway. And I'm like, did there really have to be a musical number here? Like,
so like I
this is
hear
almost
that,
a 2-hour movie, and like,
I think it was just over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because like when we stopped, there was still 40 minutes left, and we were just like,
I was like,
hell no!
Holy shit!
And then later I was just like, all right, I had my tea, I recalibrated. Let's just finish the son of a bitch.
I just went to work and had children yell at me there. So one thing that is definitely more in line with the book than the Danny DeVito version. Sorry if I'm kind of taking over on this one. It's just because I've seen and read all aspects
No, by
of
all
it.
means, take over.
In the book, if you've watched my previous video, if not, I'm sure we can put like a link here somewhere or
Certainly.
in the comments or whatever. Matilda is like, she's an asshole. Like, she's definitely not the way that Danny DeVito's depiction of her is. Like, in that one, she punishes her family because they deserve it. And it isn't until her dad is like, when bad people do bad things, they get punished.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, he said people, so that means him. And the book, Matilda would just be like, I'm gonna fuck this guy's date up. And like, and that's what she does. Like, she's mean to them because they're mean. Like, but she is also mean. Like, there are instances where like her family is not even doing anything to her, and she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna like set this parrot in the chimney and have it pretend to be a demon, which she does. And it scares the absolutely living heck out of her family. And she just thinks it's the funniest thing ever.
Well, the brother got the shaft.
Yeah, the brother is just gone.
There's no brother in this one.
Part of me is thankful because I'm sure he would have his own musical number.
True.
But like, yeah, like she has a brother. There was also no reference of like her being a boy. Like, oh, they wanted a boy. I thought that was kind of like fun for the movie of like her dad just constantly being like, no, you're a boy. She's like, I'm a girl. Like, I thought that was like one of my positive feedbacks of it.
I got you. One of the positives that I hear a lot is it has amazing choreography. And it is.
Yeah.
But I also found it very distracting. It was way too jittery for me.
Yeah. The first thing that I thought of with the choreography was like, this would look amazing on stage.
Okay.
I don't think that putting it on film did it justice, because you have all of these kids doing this crazy choreography and it's all over the place and it's like organized chaos. But then you have the camera like zooming in on like one or two at a time to see like their facial expressions and, you know, see them singing or whatever. And you're missing the grand scheme of how it all works together, which is an experience that you can really only get on stage. Because if you do that in a film, it's considered poor filming.
I got you.
But yeah, I would agree with that. I think that the choreography was good, but it definitely didn't work for me.
Whereas my biggest complaint was like a vital part of the story, and it was like the underuse of Miss Honey, and especially her connection with Matilda.
Yeah.
Because right in the beginning, she has this connection with this librarian, and that like takes away a lot of the importance of the connection between Miss Honey and Matilda.
I don't understand the point of the librarian. I feel like she's a segue so that Matilda can tell this story.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it was necessary to have her, because the whole point of Matilda was that she feels alone. There is no one that understands her. There is no one that cares about her.
Yeah, especially not an adult.
Yeah, she is completely alone. And then when she meets Miss Honey, and Miss Honey is like super poor, but like, here I have toast, here I have tea, like, let me help you, like, let me care for you.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that moment for Matilda to be like, oh, not all adults are a piece of crap.
Yeah. Like, I liked the Miss Honey in this. Like, she was different, but, like, she had the potential, and she had, like, this was one of the things that you didn't see, but, like, towards the end of the movie, she had a very good song about remembering her father, which, for me, was one of the best songs in the whole musical.
Yeah. She has a beautiful voice.
Yeah, it was a very nice performance, but it was underutilized because we already had a lot of that connection with the librarian.
Yeah.
On top of that, the story she was telling is kind of like the origin story of Miss Honey's parents and like Miss Trunchbull.
Yeah.
And that ties into with like how later on Miss Honey says like, oh, my father was an escapologist. And she's just like, an escapologist? What was his wife an acrobat or something like that? And she's like, yeah, it was. How do you know? And it's just like, I got to get your house back or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And it's just... it's weird.
To me, I don't like that. I don't like that they kind of made her a psychic in that sense of like, she's just making up the story. and telling the librarian. And then she's like, wait, I don't know how it ends. And then, making up something else the next day. And then all of a sudden, oh, that's Miss Honey's life. Huh. Like, I don't think I like that. I would rather her just be a telepath.
Okay.
Telepath?
Psychonaut?
Psychonauts? I would rather her just be able to move things with her mind.
Okay. Telekinesis, maybe.
Yeah, telekinetic. But I overall, like, not a huge fan. I think it does deserve the respect that it's getting based on the audience that it was designed for.
I'm trying to find more musicals to get into, and this was not it.
Yeah.
Like, Sweeney Todd really surprised me of how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not into musicals. There's, like, a handful that I enjoy watching. The rest, I'm just like, get away from me.
Yeah, I definitely...
And this falls into that category of get away from me.
Yeah.
There are too many songs that I found just very grating. Melody-wise, vocal-wise.
It just didn't work for me. And I think a lot of that is also rose-colored glasses for me because, like, I grew up with the Danny DeVito version.
That's the thing. It's not for me.
And, like,
because,
I didn't know
really
that it was a book.
Movie. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a book until much later. So, like, the first impression that I had of this story was from Danny DeVito's movie.
Okay.
And then I found out it was a book, and that's, when I started to look into reading it. I didn't read it until I was an adult. Last year. Hashtag I'm not an adult yet.
I don't have nostalgic attachment, but just like as a musical and like the kind of songs that like gain my interest, this movie had none of it.
Yeah. Well, I think because like Matilda was a big reader. I'm a big reader. I've always been a big reader. So I was like, oh, I love it. But anyway, I definitely think that it's still the first movie is my top tier.
Oh wow! All right.
Just because I don't like the idea that Matilda is also just an asshole. Like, you are the product of your parents. Your parents are mean and you are mean. I don't like that.
Okay.
I much rather. I definitely prefer the idea that your parents are mean and you are going to be better than them.
Okay.
So I like that way more than like, I'm gonna mess you up.
All right. So overall, what would you give it?
I would take it to the shelter.
I'd put it down. I finished the damn thing
Yeah.
and I was just like, well, that was a waste. The librarian doesn't show back up, and if she does, it's like very briefly, like right at the end. But there's just a scene where she just like, sorry, had to go to the fair. She writes a note and puts it on the front of her library, and she's just like, sorry, had to go to the fair. How does the story end? And Matilda's just like, sorry, but not all stories have happy endings or whatever rubbish they. And then they move on to the climax of the film. So yeah, we tried. We failed.
I would take it to the shelter, but I would definitely not mind if it was a kill shelter.
Alrighty then. So you're gonna put it down anyways.
I mean, whatever happens
Whatever
once
happens,
it gets
happens.
there.
All right.
But yeah, definitely not for me.
So yeah, that was our thoughts on Matilda the Musical. If there's any other musicals or Netflix shows you'd like us to check out, leave a comment down below. And also let us know what you thought about Matilda the Musical. We know it's beloved. It has its audience.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Which is fair. We're not a part of that audience.
Exactly. We are not part of it. And we'll see you all in the next review.
Toodles.